Wow! Welcome to Bukede TV under this program of PLE. It is brought to you by PrimeLearn. You can visit us at www.prime-learn.com, or you can download our app from Google Play Store and learn with us. My name is Nata Maria. I'm going to teach you Integrated Science or Primary 5. Settle down and you enjoy. Our theme is matter and energy. Topic: heat energy. My dear viewer, before I take you to heat energy, allow me to remind you about the states of matter. Do you know them? I guess yes. We have three major states of matter. To begin with, we have solids, or what we can call solid state. Solid states have specific shape, or they have definite shape. They have closely packed molecules or particles. Solids have much cohesion force. When I talk about cohesion force, is the action of like molecules sticking together. Wow, you can have a look on our screen here. We are seeing a state of solid. Having known those characteristics, allow me to take you through the examples of materials which are in solid state. Among these examples, we have ice crystals. I hope you know ice crystals. They have cross particles. Second, we have plastic materials. We also have metals. Metals are also in solid state. We also have wood, stones, bricks, tables, doors, to mention but a few. All those things that I've mentioned belong to solid states of matter. My dear friend, having known about solids, let me still remind you about the liquids or the liquid state. When I talk about the liquid state, they don't have a specific shape. Liquid molecules are relatively close to each other. When you look at the molecules of the liquid state, as you can see it here, we are seeing their molecules are relatively close to each other, but not too close. There are some spaces under this state of the liquids between the molecules. This liquid state, they get the shape depending on the container that they are in. In case they are in a container which is in the square form, when they settle down, they will be in square form, depending on the size and the shape of the container. Let us look at the examples of liquids. We have water, milk, soda, petrol, alcohol, to mention but a few. All those examples we have mentioned belong to liquid state of matter. Lastly, we have the gaseous state. My dear friend, the gases, they don't have a specific shape or size. That is one characteristic. Secondly, their particles are very far from each other and they move freely in different directions. Have a look on our screen here. We are seeing the particles of gaseous state, and their particles are free. They are far away from each other and they can easily move to different directions, as you can see them. My dear friend, by the end of this lesson, you're going to be able to know the changes in states of matter and examples of changes in states of matter. Please, in case you want more of such good videos, you can visit us at PrimeLearn. We are going to look at the changes in state of matter. But first of all, we need to know, what do we mean by change in states of matter? Change in state of matter is caused by a slight change in temperature. Remember, we have seen the different states of matter, the solids, the liquids, and the gases. And here they are telling us that they can easily change from one state to another. So they are telling us that the change in states of matter is caused by the change of temperature. When I talk about temperature, I mean temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. Now, some substances can easily change from one state to another, as I told you. For example, gases can easily change from gases to liquids. Liquids can easily change from liquids to solids. And even solids can change from solids to gases. I hope you have understood that clearly. My dear friend, having known that, now let us go straight away and see the examples of changes in states of matter. How do they change from one state to another? To begin with, the first example is, or the first process is melting. When I talk about melting, melting is spelled as melting, melting. The second process is condensation, condensation, condensation. Another one we have freezing, freezing. The fourth one we have sublimation. How do we write the word sublimation? S-U-B-L-I-M-A-T-I-O-N, sublimation. We also have evaporation, E-V-A-P-O-R-A-T-I-O-N, evaporation. We also have what we call deposition or desublimation. My dear viewer, having known all those processes, allow me to take you through one by one at a time. Let us begin with melting. Melting is the change of state from solids to liquids. My dear viewer, I need you to note that melting occurs under the presence of heat. Yes, melting occurs under the presence of heat. What do I mean by heat? Heat is the form of energy that changes the temperature of an object. Yes. Now let us see some of the substances that can change from solids to liquids. We need to know them. First of all, we have ice crystals to water. My dear viewer, when I talk about ice crystals, I think you know them. You can get your ice from the fridge. It is going to be exposed under a certain heat from the atmosphere, and it will definitely melt. It will change from the solid state into water, and water belongs to liquids. Secondly, we have some plastic materials. When they are exposed to the heat, they will definitely change from solid state where they have been to liquids, as you can see them clearly on our screen. And that process of these plastics changing from solid to liquid is what we call melting. Another example, a candle wax. This is very common with us at home, especially when electricity is off. We get a candle made out of wax. But when you light this candle with fire, after some time, you're going to see that this candle made out of wax is going to start melting. You're going to see it changing from solid state to liquid. You're going to see a liquid substance from this candle. Remember, at first, it was in solid state. Another example where we have the substances that change from solid to liquids is rocks to lava. This is very common, especially in SST, we learn about it. We have some rocks, especially in volcanoes, that can easily be heated until they are molten lava. And the process of these rocks changing to molten lava is what we call melting, because at first they were in solid state, but later they changed to liquid state, and that is what we call melting. Another one, we have metals. We have some kinds of metals which are very hard and they belong to solid state. But when we expose them to heat, they are going to melt slowly by slowly and they will form molten liquid. As you can see on our screen, we are seeing metals being exposed to heat and they are changing to molten liquids. My dear friend, I hope you're enjoying. In case you want to watch more of these educative videos, just download our app from Google Play Store, and it is called PrimeLearn to enjoy more. Let's go straight away to another process by which states of matter change from one state to another, and this is evaporation. Evaporation is the change of state from liquids to gases. Wow, this is very interesting, my dear friend. We have some substances which are in liquid state, but they can change from liquids to gases, as we are going to see, and it is going to be very interesting. First of all is water to steam. My dear friend, we have a very common example here. Have you ever put water in a kettle and set it on fire? This reminds us that in order for evaporation to take place, there must be a source of heat. So when you get your water and put it in a kettle and set it on fire, for example, after some period of time, you will see that this water will start producing steam or vapor. That is what we call evaporation. It is this water that has been boiled and it is changing to steam or vapor, and that process is called evaporation. Second, we have dew on grass. My dear friend, when you wake up very early in the morning in wee hours and you look at the grass around you, you will see that this grass contains water on it, and that water is called dew, D-E-W. And after some period of time, this water will disappear in form of vapor. After the sun rises in the morning, it will hit this water that is on this grass and it will evaporate. This water will change from liquid to gases and it will disappear. That is very good. Another example is drying up of different water bodies. My dear friend, do you know what I mean by water bodies? These are features which contain water in them. Among them we have lakes, rivers, and so on. Now here, when the sun rises in the morning and the sun rays hit into this water body, after some period of time, the water in this water body will start feeling the heat and it will start evaporating. This water will start to change from water to vapor going to the atmosphere. Another example we have cooling down of hot tea and other hot liquids. In case you put your tea in a cup, for example, milk, the black tea or the African tea, and you observe it clearly, you will see that in the process of cooling down, you will see that there is vapor coming out of this tea, and therefore it is cooling down. But it is changing this water, which belongs to liquid state, to vapor, which is the gaseous state. And that process is called evaporation. Remember, evaporation is the change of state from liquids to gases. Lastly, we have ironing wet clothes. My dear friend, some of us will iron wet clothes. Have you ever observed what takes place due to the process of ironing the wet clothes? We observe that there is evaporation or there is vapor coming out of these clothes. So in the process of ironing, you will observe that the water which was left in this cloth is changing from water to vapor or to steam. And that process by which this water is changing from liquid to gases is what we call evaporation. And evaporation is the change of state from liquids to gases. I hope you have enjoyed that process. Let us go straight away and see the next process. The next process is what we call condensation. My dear viewer, condensation is the change of state from gases to liquids. This is very interesting. Here we have some substances which are in gas state. And we shall see that they are going to be changing from gas to liquids. And the process of these substances changing from gases to liquids is what we call condensation. Let us go straight away and see substances that change from gases to liquids. First of all, we have distillation of liquids, where vapor in the delivery tube is cooled into distillate or liquids. This happens especially to people who prepare alcohol. When you put your raw materials and you set them on fire, all the source of heat, they will heat these liquids. And in the process of heating the liquids, are going to change to vapor or steam. So when they are passing through the delivery tube, they will meet cold water. And when this delivery tube is put in cool water, it is going to cool down the vapor or the steam that was coming through the delivery tube to distillate. By distillate, we can use the word liquid. And this process by which the vapor has changed to liquids is what we call condensation. Another example, we have water vapor to dew. My dear friend, at night, vapor comes from the atmosphere and it reaches the grass. That is why in the morning we see grass when it is having water. This happens that during night, gas will come from the atmosphere in form of vapor and it will reach this grass in the environment and it will be changed from vapor to dew. So dew belongs to liquids and the vapor belongs to gases. So this process is called condensation. The process by which water vapor is changed to dew is what we call condensation. My dear friend, let us go straight away and see our next process by which states of matter change. We have freezing. F-R-E-E-Z-I-N-G. Freezing. Freezing is the change of state from liquids to solids. This is very interesting. Have you ever imagined that liquids can change to solids? Now today you're going to see it. Liquids can easily change from liquid state to solid state. Let us see some of the substances that change from liquid to solid state. First of all, we have water to ice crystals. My dear friend, you can be having your water in a cup and you put it in a fridge. After some period of time, this water will change to ice crystals. And I know you enjoy eating ice. And the process by which this water has changed to ice crystal is what we call freezing. The water has frozen and it has formed ice crystals. Water has changed from liquid state to solid state, that is the ice crystals. Another example is sugarcane juice to sugar crystals. My dear friend, we all know that they make sugar from sugar canes. But how do they do it? They squeeze these sugar canes and they form juice. That is what we call the sugarcane juice. But after some period of time, through the different process called freezing, this sugarcane juice will change from sugarcane juice to sugarcane crystals that we use to put in tea for it to be sweet. And the process by which sugarcane juice is changed from sugarcane juice to sugar crystal is what we call crystallization. Do you know about crystallization? No? Okay, visit PrimeLearn. Just go to Google Play Store, download our app. You will know about crystallization from different lessons, from different subjects. My dear viewer, our last process is what we call sublimation. S-U-B-L-I-M-A-T-I-O-N. Sublimation. Sublimation is the change of state from solids to gases. I repeat, sublimation is the change of state from solids to gases. The solid substances we mentioned, like the ice crystals, like the plastic materials, they can change from solid to gases. This happens on dry ice. Ice can easily change from ice crystals to solid carbon dioxide. It is very practical and we shall see that in our next lessons. It is also another process by which different substances change from one state to another. Wow, my dear friend, you have been an amazing viewer. Please keep visiting PrimeLearn website for more educative videos from different teachers. In this lesson today, we have been looking at changes in state of matter. But first of all, we need to know, what do we mean by change in states of matter? Change in state of matter is caused by a slight change in temperature. Remember, we have seen the different states of matter, the solids, the liquids, and the gases. And here they are telling us that they can easily change from one state to another. So they are telling us that the change in states of matter is caused by the change of temperature. When I talk about temperature, I mean temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. Now, some substances can easily change from one state to another, as I told you. For example, gases can easily change from gases to liquids. Liquids can easily change from liquids to solids. And even solids can change from solids to gases. I hope you have understood that clearly. My dear friend, having known that, now let us go straight away and see the examples of changes in states of matter. Among these examples, we have seen melting. When I talk about melting, melting is spelled as M-E-L-T-I-N-G, melting. We also have evaporation. E-V-A-P-O-R-A-T-I-O-N, evaporation. We also have what we call deposition or desublimation. Deposition is spelled as D-E-P-O-S-I-T-I-O-N, or desublimation is spelled as D-E-S-U-B-L-I-M-A-T-I-O-N, desublimation. We have seen sublimation, condensation, freezing, to mention but a few. And we have said that melting is the change of state from solids to liquids. I repeat, melting is the change of state from solids to liquids. And we have looked at the examples of substances that change from solids to liquids, or the substances that undergo melting. Among these, we have seen ice crystals to water, some plastic materials like the plates, the gel cans, the cups to liquid, and even candle wax changing to liquid. Another one, we have metals. We have some kinds of metals which are very hard and they belong to solid state. But when we expose them to heat, they are going to melt slowly by slowly and they will form molten liquid. As you can see on our screen, we are seeing metals being exposed to heat and they are changing to molten liquids. Lastly, we have looked at the rocks changing to molten lava. This process by which these things change from solid to liquids is what we call melting. Remember, melting is the change of state from solids to liquids. Wow. Let us go to another example of the changes of state of matter. Evaporation. Remember, we have said that evaporation is the change of state from liquids to gases. The examples of substances that undergo evaporation, you have water to steam, where we have talked about the experience that we go through when we are boiling tea. Another one is drying of water bodies. My dear friend, do you know what I mean by water bodies? These are features which contain water in them. Among them we have lakes, rivers, and so on. Now here, when the sun rises in the morning and the sun rays hit into this water body, after some period of time, the water in this water body will start feeling the heat and it will start evaporating. This water will start to change from water to vapor going to the atmosphere. And lastly, cooling down of hot water and other hot liquids. Remember, we said that all this that we have mentioned belong to liquid state. But when they are changing to gases, they undergo a process called evaporation. And evaporation is the change of state of matter from liquids to gases. We have also looked at condensation, and we have said, my dear viewer, that condensation is the change of state from gases to liquids. Remember, we have mentioned about some of the things that change from gases to liquids, and among them we have seen water vapor to dew, especially in the morning. It is found on grass. Water vapor to dew. This happens that during night, gas will come from the atmosphere in form of vapor and it will reach this grass in the environment and it will be changed from vapor to dew. So dew belongs to liquids and the vapor belongs to gases. So this process is called condensation. The process by which water vapor is changed to dew is what we call condensation. We have also seen distillation of liquids where the vapor in the delivery tube is cooled into liquid or distillate. I hope you have liked that. It happens mostly when we are preparing alcohol. I believe you will learn the lesson about alcohol on PrimeLearn. Just visit us. Just go to Google Play Store, download the PrimeLearn app, register and access the well-prepared lesson videos. We have also looked at freezing. Freezing is the change of state from liquids to solids. And we have seen examples of substances that change from liquids to solids. Among them, we have seen water to ice crystals. I know you enjoy that. We have also looked at sugarcane juice to sugar crystals. And the process by which sugarcane juice changed to sugar crystals is called crystallization. Lastly, we have looked at sublimation, and we have said sublimation is the change of state from solids to gases. And I have my table here. We can use it to summarize whatever we have been learning in this lesson. First of all, we have said that we have 3 states of matter. We have the liquids, as you can see them. We have the gases, as you can see them. And still, we have the solids, as you can see them on our table. We are seeing different arrows here. We are seeing an arrow marked A. It is pointing on liquids to gases. Now they are asking us which process is that by which liquids change to gases. It is marked A. That process is called evaporation. Secondly, we have an arrow pointing on gases and it is taking it to liquids. How do we call that process by which gases change to liquids? And that process is what we call condensation. I hope you remember. We have other arrows which are pointing on the liquids and the solids. One is from liquids to solids and another one is from solids to liquids. Solid to liquids is marked C. How do you call that process by which substances change from solids to liquids? That process is called melting. Then another arrow is marked D. It is from liquids to solids. How do you call that process by which liquids change to solids? That process is called freezing. Freezing is the process by which liquids change to solids. Lastly, we have process marked E. The arrow is showing us that it is from solids to gases. And that process is called sublimation. Wow. My dear friend, I hope you have enjoyed this lesson and I know you have liked it. Please, in case you want to watch more of these videos, visit PrimeLearn for more educative videos from different teachers and of different subjects. Now, I can't go without giving you an activity to see whether you have really understood what I have been teaching you. I have 2 packages for you. The first activity are the structured questions. Here, you read the questions and then write down the answer. The second activity is composed of objective questions where you read the question. We have options A, B, and C. Then you tap in the correct answer. Let us begin by the structured questions. My question number 1 is, name any one factor that enables melting as a change in state of matter to take place. Which factor is that? Which factor that must be there in order for substances to change under the process of melting? Do you know the answer? I guess yes, the answer is heat. Okay, let's go to point 2. Name the substance that exists in the 3 states of matter. Name the substance that exists in the 3 states of matter. Do you know the substance that exists in solids, liquids, and gases? I guess yes, the answer is water. Water exists in all the 3 states of matter. Boys and girls, our question number 3 goes, list down the 3 states of matter. I guess we talked about this at the beginning of our lesson, and we say that we have 3 states of matter, whereby we have solids, or what you can call solid state. We have liquids, or what you can call liquid state. We have gases, or what you can call the gaseous state. Those are the 3 states of matter: solids, gases, and the liquids. Our question number 4. Mention any 5 examples of change in state of matter. My precious viewer, we have talked about the changes in states of matter. And the first example is condensation. Remember, condensation is spelled as C-O-N-D-E-N-S-A-T-I-O-N. Condensation is the change of state of matter from gases to liquids. Wow. Let us try to go example number 2. Example number 2 is evaporation. How do we spell the word evaporation? We spell it as E-V-A-P-O-R-A-T-I-O-N, evaporation. And evaporation is the change of state of matter from liquids to gases. Example number 3 is melting. Do you remember what melting is? We said that melting is the change of state of matter from solids to liquids. The word melting is spelled as M-E-L-T-I-N-G, melting. The 4th example of the change of state of matter we have freezing. F-R-E-E-Z-I-N-G. And we say that freezing is the change of state of matter from liquids to solids. Our last example is sublimation. Sublimation is spelled as S-U-B-L-I-M-A-T-I-O-N, sublimation. And we say that sublimation is the change of state of matter from solids to gases. Wow, we have mentioned the 5 examples of change of state of matter. Wow. Let us go straight away to question number 5. And it goes, give the state of matter that has closely packed particles. We can also use the word molecules instead of particles. So we can say, give the state of matter that has closely packed molecules. Is it the liquid state? No. Is it the gaseous state? No. Is it the solid state? Yes. Solid state of matter has closely packed molecules. So our answer is solid state. Our second package is the one of objective questions. Number 1 goes, which of the following processes changes liquids to solids? A, melting, B, freezing, and lastly, condensation. Please tap in the correct answer and get your scores. Number 2, the following are states of matter except A, metal state, B, liquid state, and lastly, C, gaseous state. If your answer is metal state, that you know that we have a state called metal, please just tap in it. If it's not the right one, look for the correct answer and tap in it. Wow, my dear friend, our third question is, give the state of matter that has closely packed particles. I repeat, give the state of matter that has closely packed particles. And the objectives we have A as liquids, B, gases, C, solids. Guess what is the answer according to what we have learned? Our answer is solids. Remember, we have said that solids have closely packed molecules, or they have closely packed particles. Therefore, they belong to solid state. Let us go to question number 4. Question number 4 goes, dash is the change of state from solids to liquids. I repeat, dash is the change of state from solids to liquids. What do we mean? How do we call that state by which solids change to liquids? Objective A, we have melting, B, freezing, C, sublimation. Guess what is the correct answer? The correct answer is A, which is melting. Remember, we said that melting is the change of state of matter from solids to liquids. That's why we have taken A as our most correct answer. Question number 5. It goes, identify any one substance that changes from liquids to solids. I repeat, identify any one substance that changes from liquids to solids. Before you answer this question, first think about this change of state of matter. What is it? Is it melting? Is it the sublimation? It is what? It is freezing. Remember we said that freezing is the change of state of matter from liquids to solids. Having known that, now let us try to identify the substances that can change from liquids to solids. Objective A, we have ice to water. Is ice in a liquid state? Is water in solid state? I think this one does not qualify because ice is not in a liquid state. B, metals to molten liquids. Metals to molten liquids. My dear friend, metals don't belong to liquids, and molten liquids does not belong to solids. So we don't take this also. Let us see. Objective C. Water to ice. Wow. I think water belongs to liquids, yes, and ice belongs to solids. So our one example of substance that change from liquids to solids is water to ice. Wow. I hope it has been a very nice experience. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please, PrimeLearn is the first of its kind. It has made learning easy and simpler for you. I've been Nata Maria, taking you through Integrated Science of Primary 5. Let us meet in my next lesson. I love you so much. Ciao, ciao.